Do not, under any circumstances, push the horses.
You will you will find out they will. They found out the hard way, didn't they?
They really did. They really did. So
Yeah.
we're pretty much only going to talk about Usyk Dubois, I think, on this one. The undercard was quite frankly awful. Um, so we're not going to talk about that. And we're going to also leave Manny Pacquiao alone. We'll come back to that one another day, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's enough to go at. I don't think anyone wants to hear about anything else, right?
No, I don't think so. So let's get straight to it. Let's start with a fight rather than going into all the sort of post-fight
The
stuff that I
fallout.
think because I think there's plenty of that to talk about.
Much fallout. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Wonderful.
and I think loads more is probably going to come out over the next week as well because I don't think it's all out there yet either.
No, I mean the fallout. Well, we'll get to it. It's hilarious, really. But but they warned him in the press conference. We did our previews on Friday. Don't push the horses. And in our predictions, I'd said I thought Usyk had felt like he had a point to prove and wanted to make a statement, and I thought he would. But my God, did he? He was
Yeah,
so, so good. I mean, we can do Dubois in a bit, but let's not take away from just how good Usyk was. I thought he was wonderful, absolutely.
it was one of those where it, he was really good, and it was a bit like watching a Wilder fight to me because I was kind of waiting, thinking. But at any moment, Dubois got a big punch, and he could clock him at any moment. And he was sort of like, "That's kind of all he's got. He's probably not going to be able to do anything else." And he wasn't showing. But I felt like the writing was on the wall after 15 seconds when I
Yeah,
think Dubois had thrown two jabs, both of them blocked. Usyk he'd poured a jab out a second before, and it didn't even look like it was a jab with any
yeah,
intent to do anything. It looked like it was half jab, half feint. And then he just clocked Dubois with a jab straight in the face.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
No,
that was almost like, oh, we're just
so,
carrying on, are we?
well, exactly. Well, that was it, wasn't it? You said Usyk gets better as a fight goes on, and it was like he just. I don't think what people will say about Usyk is he downloads for data,
Oh man, I'm
which
so
I
glad you said that because I know I always moan about like boxing
yeah,
cliches.
that's
That
a new
one
one, right?
is it's a new one and it's just
Yeah,
ridiculous.
really, right. So the merit in it, what they obviously mean is
Well, oh
Usyk
wait,
loses
just
the fight goes.
before you
Sorry,
go on to what it means, while you explain what it means, I will be downloading the data on what you're saying.
yeah, so there you go. He he learns as the fight goes on, and he gets better. And basically, what he learned in the previous fight, and he cleared his hard drive of all the other data he had on Tyson Fury in the interim, was Daniel Dubois has a really good jab. And he just took that, as you say, he took that out pretty much straight away, didn't he? He beat him to it. Um,
I felt like honestly, I felt Dubois was a little bit rattled going into it. I felt like the narrative had shifted a little bit from Dubois' entourage having a bit of a pop at Usyk to then they'd backed off and Dubois was sort of left having to pick the pieces up of that and didn't want to continue it. You know, you could kind of see that in him. But then I just felt like, yeah, as soon as he got it with that jab, and I said, I don't know whether it was in the last episode or the one before, I still felt like the quit was in him. I didn't think
you
Figueroa
did,
left
yeah,
him.
yeah.
Um, and I felt like it appeared almost immediately after that jab hit him. Like it was, oh shit, here we go again.
Yeah, I've pulled or was it pulled or pushed the horses? I can't.
Push, I
Don't
think. Push. It'd be
push.
hard to pull a horse, wouldn't it?
Quite hard to push a horse. Although, quick side, Roberto Duran ended up making money going to bars when he was got down on his luck, knocking out horses. Just anyway,
I mean, I suppose we've all pulled a few horses in our time.
exactly. Not many of us could knock out a horse. Wonder how many punches it take. Anyway, that's by the by. But yeah, Usyk was so good. You say he just carried on from where he left off. Nothing. I don't think Dubois, you know, really had a chance at any point in the fight. I think he had a bit of a fist of it in the third round, and then
Yeah,
they got
I think the punch stats support him possibly winning the third round.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like when he's when he maybe won the third round. I mean, a lot of people didn't give him the third round. I haven't
Yeah.
seen the scorecards. Doesn't seem any point in looking at them.
No, exactly. Yeah.
But even then, it's like, yeah, but it's just a gimme. Is that like that's all you're getting? You know what I mean? It's
You're just downloading data.
yeah. Let me just go. It's what does it mean? Like where's that saying come from?
I, probably Gareth A. Davis.
Just downloading the data. Uh, it's just it's just utterly meaningless. What does it mean? Oh, he's waiting. Is he waiting or is he fighting? Is he thinking about it? I'm sure all fighters are thinking after the first round. It's well known that first rounds are always a little bit of a feel out in most cases.
Yeah, so I'm going to go slightly deep on this. I think you wouldn't. You could only really apply it to an Eastern European in the way that they're almost dehumanized as being machines. Do you know what I
Okay,
mean?
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
that kind of excellence of like Eastern Bloc. They could only no one's saying that about Deontay Wilder. No one's saying that. So I think I think it's sort of like steeped in that, to be honest. But anyway, he learns as it goes on. He gets better. He's really good. And he just say picked up where he left off, didn't he? He was.
Bit more menace about him this time.
Well, they pushed for horse, didn't they? They pushed for horse, and
It
we
felt
were.
like that. It felt like that. It felt like he actually did go in with a bit of a point to prove, and
Think so.
he did probably want an early finish. Um, just kind of
I
wanted to
didn't
make a
think
bit
he.
of an example of Dubois, I think, and he did.
But yeah, when was the last time? And I don't actually know off the top of my head. The last person he knocked out was it Bellew?
Uh, maybe, yeah, maybe it was. Well, it was Dubois, but
Oh yeah, yeah. Of course, yeah. Sorry, other than Dubois, but yeah, 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 yeah. It was obviously Dubois. But other than that, because he's not.
so
Yeah, because he's
I
I
mean,
think
he isn't known as a big puncher. I think his style
exactly.
I think his style has changed a little bit. I felt like peak Usyk was AJ1 in the heavyweight division. I would say it's AJ1. I just felt like he was on his toes for the entire fight. He
Yeah,
was
yeah,
flawless, slipping, just catching punches, not throwing anything big, but he was just always there in your face. Massive, massive
yeah,
output.
yeah.
I feel like now he's much more of a sort of established heavyweight. I don't think he's
Looks
on his
bigger,
toes
bigger.
as
Yeah,
much. He's not on his toes as not as much. He's not bouncing around quite as much as what he did in AJ1. But it looks like his punches are a bit harder. So it
yeah.
feels
Punches
like
are hard.
yeah,
He's moving. He controlled every minute, didn't he?
yeah, yeah. He really
Just
did.
moved,
Uh,
just moving around. Even with the first knockdown, because he was in the corner, right? He was at the bar. He's probably thinking, "Oh, backed him up here." He's on his arse.
well,
To me,
I don't know what you made of that fifth round, but when I was watching it, it looked like Dubois had sort of got to the point because I felt like in the fourth round it stepped up a bit from Usyk. I felt like he'd really
yeah,
started to put a bit of menace into his punches in the
yeah.
fourth round, and it started to heat up a little bit. And then I don't know whether Dubois felt that also because he kind of looked like he came in the fifth and thought, "Bollocks! I'm going to
He looked
try and
knackered.
trade with you. I'm going to try and trade with you now because
He looked
this
knackered.
isn't working." And it seemed like they were going to trade, and I was like, "Oh my god! Like anyone could get caught here." Dubois got caught. I didn't think it was a big shot at all. It looked like it was one of those ones that skim the head. Now we've seen a few of those on different
Mm.
fighters where they do sort of skim the top of the head and they
Scramble,
go down. Yeah, they say scrambles your brain. I don't know. I've never been sort of hit on the top of the head like that.
yeah,
But it didn't look like a big shot. The shot that I thought was really big was when he came in and he threw a right hook at him after he got back up. And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dubois actually withstood that shot quite well.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
I think the thing with Usyk's punches is it's obviously not just the power; it's the accuracy, and he kind
yeah,
of
his accuracy is really good.
and so it's almost an accumulation of all of those, that I think. I think extra because it's not going to be the first time he's caught you there. He's wearing you down all the way through. Quite funny as well, but he took a body shot quite nice and smiled back at him.
He indicated it was low again, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah, but with a
Um,
smile. And that's when
I kind of expected as soon as Dubois threw a body shot, there was even borderline he was going to be calling the ref out, and I don't.
yeah.
I think the ref just largely ignored that one. But
He didn't even call it out. He kind of just sort of said it to Dubois almost.
yeah, yeah. But
Smile on his
Dubois
face.
never through another one, I don't think, after that.
No,
I'm not
no,
sure
no.
he threw another body shot.
I think the way Usyk did it was almost like, "Oh, you've tried it, but no, like, you're not going to get me to the
Yeah,
body." It's
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
It was kind of almost like, well, right, he's taking your jab out in the first 15 seconds. He's then taking out your body shot, and he's like, I'm here to make a statement because no one's really diminished. Well, I should say that's bollocks. I say no one's diminished any of his wins. Tyson Fury is still the one person in the world who thinks he's beaten him twice. Even AJ in that second fight, when you look back at that crazy shenanigans in the ring afterwards, is almost like, how's he done that? I can't through
Yeah,
everything. Was he done
yeah,
that? I
yeah.
think it was more like almost a disbelief rather than saying, he'd won. He was just, oh, I can't believe I haven't won because I that was as good as he was going to get, and he's still not good enough. So, I think, maybe
I thought, AJ fought well in that fight. I did
yeah,
think that. It was a
yeah,
pretty good performance from AJ,
yeah, yeah.
but just not good enough. Um, so do you think Dubois could have done anything different? I know a lot of people expected him to come sort of charging out the blocks and really sort of put it on Usyk. I don't
Yeah.
know if he really did that.
I don't think he could. I don't think he could have done anything different. I know I was hot on Usyk before, so as I say, it kind of went what I expected for Usyk to dominate. I just didn't. I didn't think he'd do it as comprehensively and as quickly as he
Yeah.
did. So I don't think the Bar could have done anything different. I
Do
don't,
you?
I don't think there's a version of Daniel Dubois or any heavyweight in this current era who could have handled that Usyk on Saturday night. That there,
No,
I
it's. I mean, it's.
always I always say, if they're or it was talk about Fury and AJ, I'd always say the best Fury beats the best AJ. I think that was the best Usyk we've seen on Saturday night. And I don't think the best Fury, if you put Fury from, if you want to go Klitschko or you want to go Wilder too, I don't think either of those iterations beat that Usyk on Saturday night. I think it
No,
was.
I mean, I still think AJ1 is the best version. I think that is the best new version of Usyk. I think AJ1 is the best version I've seen. Just because that
Yeah.
was, I mean, I suppose they're both just utterly flawless.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Maybe I got a bit of recency bias there, but it was just also because it was
I think because
done
it had a
so
knockout,
and
on the end.
so early
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the scheme of things. Yeah, and it was the
Um,
one thing I guess people weren't saying was the early stoppage because I say if Dubois is going to win
no,
it, it'd be rounds 1 to 6, and then you expect Usyk to do what he does. I'm going to say it, but do what he does, and then from round 7 kick on. And I thought he'd do that and get him out
yeah, and
between 9 and 12.
particularly, I messaged you before the fight and said Dubois has never been 12, which is dangerous, a
You know?
dangerous place to
Yeah,
be because Usyk
yeah,
he will take 9, 10, 11, and 12 off you anyway.
yeah.
And if you've not been 12, he's definitely going to take 10, 11, and 12 from you.
I instantly thought to myself, oh, the Jerome Miller fight, but also obviously he got him out 10 seconds before the end, but then it was a 10-round
10
fight.
round fight, yeah.
So in my head as well, that then diminishes the Jerome Miller fight because it was only a 10-round fight. Do you know what I mean? Like, so kind of in my head, it was like, you know, was that as
Yeah, yeah.
but
Now,
any
I know we had a different opinion of this directly after the
yeah,
fight concluded. It was obviously a massive left hook that put Dubois down for the second time. I felt like Dubois quit in that fight. I really do.
yeah,
And I I know there's a lot of people. I think there's a lot of people right now that aren't that keen to say it. There are a few saying it, saying
yeah,
that they think he quit, but largely I think most of the media are not going there. I think it's going to come back. I think that will come back, and people will say, in hindsight, that is a quit. And I think the problem is he was sat on the canvas. I think he was looking at his dad. I couldn't tell whether he was looking at his dad or
On the
Don
first
Charles.
knockdown or the second?
Second one.
Second year, yeah.
He did look a little bit scrambled. He did, to be fair.
Yeah.
He looked a bit
Yeah.
scrambled. Couldn't tell where he was looking. I know some people have said the towel came in. Couldn't see that on the camera
It did, yeah,
angles
it did,
that
yeah. Yeah.
I've seen. But also from the angles I've seen, the referee wasn't looking anywhere where the towel landed. If
No,
it
I
did
think
come in.
they'd seen
Yeah,
he'd
so
had enough.
but that said, right, the towel coming in doesn't stop you from standing up as a fighter. You don't look at that and think, we'll get up then. Because
So
he got up on 10 and walked directly back to his corner looking fine.
yeah,
That's a problem for me.
yeah. So I I don't think he quit. I can see why you said he did, and maybe me saying I don't think he quits because I never really want to believe fighters quit, and I don't know why. But it's just like I don't. Yeah, I don't think he did. I think he'd had enough,
I think he'd had enough. I felt like he
but I
mentally
don't
quit.
think he.
I think he'd mentally
he
quit at some point
yeah,
in the
exactly.
fifth
I think
round.
he was certainly mentally done, even if he wasn't physically done. And I think he was beaten. He
Oh, but
was
I did, yeah. Oh no,
about
I'm not saying he wasn't beaten. And
yeah.
I think even if he stood up, I don't think the ref for a second would have let him carry on there. Because he'd just taken a big knockdown. But I think you've just got to do it, irrespective of whether you want to
Yeah,
fight
it's
on
for
or not.
show.
Anyway, yeah,
I know what you mean. It's not like because once the towel went in, it's not like he was up in arms about that either, which so many boxers are, and they like to protest.
yeah.
They protest, don't they? A bit like we were talking about Hooney after the Wardley fight, not protesting in the ring about the counter or anything like that. They just sort of accepted it, and it looked like the Wire accepted it, which I can completely get because of the lesson he'd just been given. Um, but also, what I'd say is, Daniel Dubois, when does he ever really not look that scrambled anyway? It's quite hard to say.
Well, I think Dubois, and I'm probably giving him way too much credit for sort of thinking like this. I think Dubois getting up after the first knockdown was him saying, because I don't think he wanted to be there at that point. I think he was done.
No,
Like I kind of felt like he gambled everything in the fifth round, tried to trade, didn't work. He got decked. His look on his face after the first knockdown looked like it's over. It looked like he was saying this is over.
this is the one I've seen debated. Is he goes down on his knee. He goes down, but on his knee, and he's looking out, taking account. And I've heard Benny was looking towards his corner, and you've got Don Charles like, get up, and you've got Francis Warren. He's quite hilarious. Him like some of the stuff you see him showing. Put your arms up, like, oh yeah, that'll stop Usyk from getting. Anyway, I'm sure Usyk hasn't encountered that before. Anyway, but he was obviously looking for his dad. It's this whole dad thing, which we'll get to. Look for his dad, and apparently his dad was just looking back at him, and his dad wasn't saying get up. So it's like, right.
Okay.
So is that his out then? That right? If dad's all right, he's got up once, and then the next one is like, well, I've kind of up, and it's I think was it Richie Woodall talking about it because his dad had trained him, had been involved in it, and he knows how hard it is to have I know Dubois' dad isn't a trainer, but he's obviously very involved in some capacity. It's you obviously have that father-son relationship, and you ultimately want them to feel right. And I think maybe him not saying to get up, given that his dad seems to control everything, maybe that was enough for Dubois too. So I can see why you'd say
Yeah,
quit.
I just even
I
if
think that might be enough.
I think there are enough questions over that one to say people will now think Dubois has quit 3 times. And interestingly, I heard Dave Allen saying he believes that Dubois quit. And he said if he had a young fighter, because Dave Allen's a coach now, if he had a young fighter and by the time he was 18, 19, he'd quit 3 times in fights, he'd be saying, walk away, son, this ain't for you. Which is really interesting because Dubois has got the skills to be a world champ again if those belts splinter off.
Yeah, pretty convinced he will.
I mean, I am now sort of the opinion was Dubois ever really world champion at all? Because Usyk lost his belts. He had to vacate one. He had to vacate a belt. Dubois picked it up. Actually, it wasn't at the time when he fought Hergovich for that belt. That belt
Yeah,
wasn't even on the line.
no, no. But then it's just like Usyk's up. I love that. I love that back now, please.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for keeping that warm for me. Give me
Yeah.
it back now. Yeah.
So, but that's the thing for me about Usyk now is I think he's just going to be that now. Get ordered to fight. That one's going to go over there. That one's going to go over there. And so well, I'll just take that back. Take that. And whether he'll unify them all again, or he's just going to be chasing around like a leaky bucket of belts until he decides to give up. I
I
think
mean,
it's just
you would assume the way boxing politics works, he will almost have to vacate a belt very
yeah,
quickly. And unless the order of defending whoever he needs to defend against just falls
yeah.
completely in line with all the bodies, but it won't because there's
No,
four of them. They all want their fighters to be first. You know, it's
yeah.
impossible. That's the problem with sort of becoming undisputed and holding all the belts. You can't keep them. It's impossible.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's almost it's obviously not meaningless, but it's not like you win it, but you don't keep it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like a what?
You
It's yeah,
can't. It's almost impossible to be undisputed, hold all the belts for 5 years. So it's basically impossible.
exactly. If there's going to be all these different belts, I think it should be possible to do that. But yeah, anyway, that's not gonna change, is it?
I've got a big question for you.
Go on.
Um, so and we're starting to move into the sort of fallout of the fight now.
Yeah.
Um, does Dubois want to be a boxer? Like, and what I mean by that is it just his dad's dream? Is he? Is it any? Has he got any say in it or anything like that at all?
I don't think he does. Like he's not. Sorry, not. I don't think he does want to be a boxer. I don't think he has any say in it because his dad had a vision or whatever it was, wasn't it? That's some medieval prophecy. But my son will be this, and so his dad's very much forced this route. You look at him as well, got Caroline Dubois, who's like very good in the female game, and of course we all know Daniel Dubois' younger brother Solomon Dubois, because he's been front and center, walking to the ring, has been everywhere. So yeah, I don't think any of the Dubois have a choice. They're all going to be boxers of some repute, and whether they want to be or not, I
It's
don't know.
so weird that he's got the physical skills to be the world champion, but
Yeah,
mentally there's something just missing when he gets to that top tier.
that I I think if Usyk wasn't about though, right? I think Fury would beat him. I do think Fury would beat him.
I think I think Fury on
Beat an
form
AJ.
and a good Fury would beat him. I still don't know. Actually, I still don't know who would win the rematch between him and AJ. I don't. I'm a little bit hot on AJ. I feel like there's a little bit of bias with me and AJ.
Yeah.
I think he's capable.
AJ
Um,
could beat him. Yeah, AJ could beat him. Well, it's one of those where it's like they're both big punchers, and I think I think that's a really decent fight again. I think AJ could beat him. I think for all of them at the moment, it's just Usyk is a generational talent, isn't he? And I think so. I think for all of Dubois' shortcomings, I think Usyk's just too good. And that video,
do you think even possibly Parker's too good for Dubois?
I don't know.
Do you
I
think
don't know. I think you
I think
still
Parker's a weird one because I think the hype is a little bit too high. I think
everyone likes him.
he's
It's
got
because
some,
he's so
yeah,
like.
he's likable. He has got some good wins, but I think, you know, he beat Gilles Jean, which was a good win at the time, but Caballero's since been in an absolutely dismantled Jean, in an outstanding fashion, which is a much, much better win than Parker's. I think his win over Bacoli, there's all kinds of questions about that. That was very weird. And Wilder, is just dropped out completely. So I don't think we really know how good Parker is at the moment. And he
No,
should have had that Dubois fight, which would have been a good fight.
no. And I think, yeah, I don't. I think if you take, and you got Usyk up there, I think you've then got Fury about there, and then I think from there you've got Parker, AJ, Dubois, Caballero, a few. There's 4 or 5 from below there who just almost sounds very dismissive, almost much of a muchness.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
and I
Well,
think
at least all of a similar level.
yeah, all could beat each other.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
almost like I thought Usyk would win this, and then I was like, oh, do you know what? I don't want to see him fight again. I mean, he's done, but it was, I do really want to see him fight again against any of them. I don't care. He loses the belt because he has to give it up, and he just, just to say, just goes and takes it back. But that Chisora video for me just summed it up and was so funny. It was like, but mate, can you just stop beating us all up?
I I
They're
haven't
so good.
I haven't seen that video,
Oh,
but
so funny.
I saw Chisora. I don't know why they give him a microphone like half the time because
Oh,
he's
he's
a
hilarious.
but
He's
yeah, he's
hilarious.
hilarious, but he's a lawsuit waiting to happen. He's just one step away from something going badly wrong. I mean, I saw him interviewing him. It might have been Radio Raheem, I can't remember, and we were walking along. He walked past. I didn't realize at the time it was Martin Bacoli and just shouted, "Lose some weight" at him. It's just hilarious.
He's brilliant, isn't he? He's, do you know what? I can't. I don't remember what fight it is now. Uh, I think it actually might be Amir Khan, Kell Brook. Derek Chisora just sat himself in one of the ringside seats. Like I was Ben Shalom or someone, just like someone's come along and better said there. I was like, are you going to tell Chisora to move? But anyway, no, I think the world does want to be a boxer. I do. I think he doesn't have the elite mentality. Maybe.
He's got it to
I
a
think
certain he's got
I
it to
think
a
he's
certain
so
level,
hard.
hasn't he? He's got it to a
It's got
certain
to a
level.
level, but I think that level would be enough to be, and it is enough to be competitive at the highest level. But Usyk's just too good. I think Usyk's just too good, and I think he will be almost as long as he wants to be. And then you got to start wondering what's his motivation. And he just loves it. You know, he kind of, I'm sure, all the stories about after the AJ fight and the second AJ fight, when his team saw him in the pool, doing lengths the next day and training and just keeping him going, keeping himself going. So, well, does he just want to keep on doing it, forevermore? Does he want to wait
Yep.
until Mototoma? Does he want to kind of like just say no? Does he want to like stop the
Here's
Toma? Say
here's
no.
another good one. So this is from Dave Allen again. So
Yeah,
the gap between Itama and Usyk, the age gap is 18 years.
yeah.
Okay, the gap between Usyk and Lennox Lewis is 21 years. So
Wow.
only 3 years difference. I don't think. Well, so I don't think Moses Itama is anywhere near ready to fight him.
No, no.
Um, I don't think it will happen. I don't think it should happen. I'm sort of against. They're not in the same. They're not in the same era. I know they're both boxers, pro boxers at the same time.
Yeah,
Doesn't
yeah,
feel
yeah.
like they're of the same time. Doesn't.
They're at the part. It feels like well, it did feel like Usyk was coming towards the end, but when you just again when you see that form and so on,
Yeah, I mean the only thing I'll say is he often sort of mentions wanting to spend time with his family, and he fights. Well, he always fights away from home. He's never fought in Ukraine,
yeah,
so
yeah,
he's obviously away from home a huge amount of time. He's got young kids. I think he don't think he'll be around much longer. I know look, people are going, "Oh, well, he looked great. No point quitting."
yeah.
I don't think he'll be
Yeah,
around much longer.
yeah, but also you want them, yeah, kind of want them to get away with all their faculties and all that, don't you? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
especially
I mean, what I will
he's
say
so
is,
popular. He's so popular now as well. Like the crowd, when the crowd started chanting Usyk, I loved that. Like
yeah,
that was great to be. I think obviously you have the Ukraine thing, but you kind of take that aside. I think there's just such admiration for him as a boxer and as a man. But he's just like he's so well fought. In fact, he just because remember his first few fights in England, he barely spoke UK, barely spoke any English, and now now he's there kind of like almost holding court in the ring afterwards. Like, who do you want to see? And it's like,
He's listing them
not
all off.
another time,
Yeah,
but he was shouting
he's
out the
totally
name.
playing the crowd. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had a meeting out the palm of our hands, and I was messaging all of us. It's so good. Yeah, had us
I
all
mean,
on.
the problem he's got is there's nobody out there that enhances his boxing CV now. Like, I don't think beating Parker does an awful lot for him.
No,
Parker's
no,
been
no,
beaten
no.
by White, being beaten by Joshua. Moses Atama, I mean, he's nowhere at the moment. I mean, he's got to fight. He's got to fight Dillian White. He then would need another fight. Dillian White's no preparation for Oleksander Usyk, so he'd need another fight. Um, I just Moses Atama's miles off for me. I think at the moment.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think so.
Caballe's the one that to me would be the most interesting fight because Caballel works the body very, very hard. You
Yeah,
know, people say the body is Usyk's weakness. I don't know if I even agree with that, to be honest, because they always go, he doesn't like being punched in the stomach.
yeah.
He
Would
won't
you?
like being punched anywhere. He don't like being punched in the head.
Well, exactly, but also it's like I think everybody's body's susceptible to taking a shot off Daniel Dubois or whoever, any of the heavyweights. So it's going to bloody hurt, man. So yeah, where was Cavall? Has he got a fight lined up at the moment or
I
not?
think he's supposed to be fighting the winner of Michael Hunter. Who's the Bulgarian dude whose name I always forget, the old guy?
Yeah.
Pulev Hunter. I've got a fight coming up,
Have
and he's
they?
supposed to fight the winner of that, from what I've heard,
Yeah.
which will probably be Michael Hunter. I can't see Pulev's very old now.
Do you know what? Hunter's an interesting one. Sorry, just quick, because he beat Bacoli, right?
Yeah, he beat Bacola. Yeah,
Hunter's just sort of like it's almost sort of forgotten man. No one really talks about him. I know we're talking about him now, but he doesn't. He's not a name that gets thrown around. And you think Bacoli's the boogeyman of the was the boogeyman of the heavyweight division and avoided. The only person he beat, well, until but Matt beats was Michael Hunter. I mean, you just say, oh yeah, he's so avoided. He's not even spoken about. So,
I mean he's got. I don't know what's got. I think he's got some kind of personal problems or something like that because his
right.
career sort of seems to go off the boil every now and
Yeah,
again.
yeah, yeah.
He's got a draw with Jerry Forrest on there. If you've never heard of Jerry Forrest has also got a draw with Gilles Zhang.
Okay.
Um, and he went down a
Draw
lot of
specialist.
he went down a lot of times in that fight, did Jerry
Didn't
Forrest?
he?
From memory, I've not watched it in a long, long time.
Yeah,
Yeah, so he's Jerry Forrest, who
yeah,
you know what? Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but then again, I am kind of one of these people now that thinks having a loss or a draw on your record doesn't really matter. Just get back on with it. Don't let it stop you. I'm not bothered about undefeated records and all things like that. I think they are a problem in boxing more than they are like a good thing.
Yes. Well, I think so. I think, yeah, I think if you've got one like Usyk has, and he's avoided no one
Yeah,
at all.
yeah,
He's everyone's backyard. He's got a true
that's a
own. Has
proper one. It's a proper
yeah,
one,
exactly.
and I would like to see that one remain intact. But at the same
I
time,
would.
but at
It
the same
makes it.
time, if he'd got beaten years ago in cruiserweight, but it's still where he was now, you'd be like, so what? You
Yeah,
know?
exactly. If you look back, sorry, I'm just going to love him for Usyk a bit more. You look back at his cruiserweight record as well. Oh, Casio,
Oh, I thought,
Brady,
yeah. I mean,
that World Boxing Super Series. He was wonderful. When he unified the cruiserweight division. And you just think every fight he always fights a name, and then he's just fighting elite fighters. You know,
yeah. The problem he's got with heavyweight is there aren't enough good fighters around.
yeah, yeah,
For when people eventually look back on his record, there won't be that many heavyweights listed on his boxing record.
yeah,
Part of that is because he's fought three of them twice.
yeah,
But also there's just not enough good fighters around, and he hasn't spent long enough at heavyweight. He hasn't been there long enough to have
yeah.
like, I don't even do the sort of comparison thing when people go, where does he rank? Because it's irrelevant because you never know until someone's fought someone.
Exactly. But what you do have to say is he's up there because of what he's done within his own
Yeah. Well,
within his
because of that
own within his own
cruiserweight, because of that cruiserweight record
cruiserweight.
plays a
Yeah,
big part of it.
yeah.
Take that away and it wouldn't be as impressive. But then
No,
it wouldn't be a
But,
reflection.
but he did, and the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Olympics, and the amateurs, and then yeah, it's just one wonderful,
So
wonderful.
on back to Dubois and the
Yes.
fallout from Dubois. So there's a lot of noise now. Well, firstly, I think nobody expects Dubois to fight under Don Charles again. I don't think anybody's expecting that to happen.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
there was a weird thing in the face-off, wasn't there? I think it was the day before where they were doing a little bit of a standing. He was standing in front of Usyk, and Dubois walked off and pushed Don Charles in the chest.
Who did he?
Yeah, he pushed him to get out of his way, and he didn't. They didn't say anything to each other.
So so weird. Well, I guess that he doesn't thank him. I think it was on the Proper Boxing podcast or something's going on there. We spoke about his dad almost being like His Excellency, and that everyone had to thank him for everything. Obviously, a lot of control, and we'll get onto that in more detail.
And
But
then
even at the
also, there's a little thing about Dubois had about, I mean, I don't know, I haven't seen this because I haven't seen a lot of the corner stuff, but Dubois had about 15 people in his corner. Um, they were all just shouting. All of them were shouting at him. Um, and it's I've seen this multiple times with Dubois when he's in the corner. He's looking at his dad when he's sat in the corner between rounds.
yeah, so only voice or anything that counts.
I think even before the fight happened, there were quite a few questions about Dubois' corner, who was really in control, whether Don Charles would remain in charge or would remain as his trainer. Obviously, if you beat Usyk and become undisputed, I don't think anybody's going to kick their trainer out there. It's not Real Madrid where you win a title and then fire your manager immediately after. Um, but I mean, it's looking pretty bleak now. I don't think Don Charles did himself any favors in the run up to this fight. A lot of people, I don't know if I necessarily agree with this, feel like Don Charles riled up Usyk more than anybody else, and his dumbass son did, to the point that he's handed Dubois a bit of an extra special beating just because of
I
that. I don't know if I believe that.
I I I don't think he did anything to endear
Well,
it.
that is true, and I think also your trainer's your trainer. Why are you getting involved in it? Like
Yeah,
your job is to train them. You're not there to wind up the opposition. That's what
that's
Billy Joe Saunders is for. That's why you bring him in.
yeah, exactly. If you need him, yeah. I don't. It's how much did he bring that would negate what he'd done to rile up Usyk? Did he do? Was there enough there? I don't know. But
I'll be blown away. I'll be blown away if he is Dubois' trainer for the next fight.
yeah, I think so. I think so. You'd because it feels like it's a rebuilding job because you got so close, as in you got the fight, and you'd managed to create enough hype around the fact you were hard done by in the first fight. It doesn't. It feels like it's a rebuild job. He needs a bit of a. And the thing is, he'll go through people again. He'll knock people out again, almost regardless of who he's with. But yeah, the Don Charles thing again. After the fight, when Don Charles told him to thank the fans, it's like that was weird, wasn't it?
I didn't catch that live actually. I heard it, but I didn't catch it live. But I
Yeah,
think is it weird because Dubois he's not a smart guy, is he? And like he
well,
probably does need reminding of things like
yeah,
that.
but it's not a good look for anyone when it's caught
Yeah,
camera
yeah.
and micro and you thank the fans. So yeah, just didn't. Dubois, he did that. Did Dubois no favors because it made it look like Dubois wouldn't have thought to do it and didn't care about the fans, and
I
it
don't.
just
I don't think people would be that angry with Dubois not thanking the fans because I think everyone understands he's not that smart. He really isn't. I
no,
mean,
yeah.
I don't know whether something's going to come out in a few years about his intelligence or something because he's not all there, is he?
It's going to come out.
He's not all. I mean, I watched. I don't know if you saw the thing.
A record low intelligence.
I don't know if you saw the thing where they sent Rob Beckett. I mean, I'm not really into Rob Beckett, but they
Oh,
sent
I
him
do a
along
lot. Yeah.
to go and train with Usyk. And he went along and he's in this massive barn, like huge barn gym. I don't know where it was. And Rob Beckett said he was sat there for 45 minutes. Nobody even looked at him. while he was there, and he's like, I don't really know if I can go and approach him or anything like that. And then obviously they did come up to him and said, you can do some stuff. He got in the ring. They put a load of pads around, like pad work stuff around him. And Dubois came up to him and said, "What's your name?" Didn't know who he was. Bear in mind, he must have been through a briefing before it happened as well. And it wasn't like, I don't, you'd never get him to fake that Dubois because it'd never come off well. Or pretend you don't know who
No,
he is.
no, no,
He
no.
wouldn't be able to carry that off. And then he didn't know he was a comedian, didn't know who he was or anything like that. He's just like,
He's very well. This is again.
he
This
would
will
have been told. It's not like, oh, I'm not into comedy. I've never
no.
seen Rob Beckett. He will 100% have been told at some point within the last hour, this guy is turning up. Rob Beckett, he's a comedian.
Within within the last hour. But again, this comes back to his dad, doesn't it? Almost because his dad like took him out of school, homeschooled him. Just the 3 hours of
I
press
mean,
ups.
I'm gonna question Stan Dubois' homeschooling methods because
Exactly.
if
Yeah, yeah.
Dubois is the example of
It's
that,
really, yeah, yeah. So the reason was not at the Bar Institute of Education, but he so he's socially awkward, and uh, he's as we say, this has been his dad's dream, his dad's vision, all that. Everything's been focused on becoming on being heavyweight champion of the world, which he did. Great,
couple of questions about that though, because he didn't win it. He didn't win it off anyone. Like
Yeah. I think he will. I think he will win another until Usyk decides to take it back off him.
I'll tell you another thing that I'm really not happy about at all. You can't go giving it the big one before a fight, um, get in people's face, call them out, call them a cheat, get beat, and not go to the press conference. You can't do that. That's
Did he not go?
ridiculous.
Did he not go?
No, he didn't go. Frank Warren went on his own. Don Charles didn't go either. Um,
That's not good, is he?
Appalling, absolutely appalling. And I get, sometimes fighters they're going to hospital, they're not in a good state, they probably shouldn't be doing a press conference. But I've not heard anything about that.
No, but do you know what? It's quite a lot of needle, really. I think actually wasn't there. That's what I'm thinking there was because even in Usyk's post-fight interviews, he didn't really pay tribute
No.
to Warren in any way. He wasn't dismissive. He said, it weren't easy, but he didn't. I
There is
think,
there is a thing where I think there's a picture of that I haven't seen this, but I've heard about it. There's a picture of Usyk above all the British fighters that he's beaten, and he said he doesn't like it because he gets on well with Anthony Joshua. Um, he didn't say anything about Fury, but he said he's friends with Bellew, he's friends with Joshua. He said he could be friends with Fury. He said he's not, but he
yeah,
could be. But then they asked him about Daniel Dubois, and he didn't like him. I think some people are saying it stems back to when Usyk beat Fury and Dubois, when someone pushed him in the ring, when someone got him to go in the ring and get on the mic. I think Usyk was doing a speech about his dad or something like that after the fight, and Dubois came in and took the mic, but didn't know what to sort of say
he
with it.
obviously didn't read the room, didn't read
I
the
think
room.
because Warren was really pissed off after the fight. I don't know if you've seen much. He sounded like he was really pissed off with Dubois.
Oh, really?
He really did come. Yeah, he was like, look, he said he kept on going on. Well, he needs to learn. And they were going, now, if he comes back, what is he going to do? He goes, well, he absolutely has to learn from this. And he said, could he have done anything differently? And he said, yeah. He said he wasn't using his jab. Yeah, he did not seem happy with Dubois at all after that war.
No, but again,
But then he's got Joe
Dubois would
Parker.
have.
He's got Joe Parker on his books, so he's desperately trying to get him
Well, he
into
has
the
got
next
Joe
fight.
Parker in his books, and also, I think we haven't spoken about it yet, but let's do it. I guess, Dubois maybe all partied out from the day.
Why? What do you mean?
You not heard about the party?
No.
Oh, mate, this is the best.
I don't know. I don't know anything about
Oh, this
this.
is fantastic. So during the afternoon of the fight, Daniel Dubois' dad held a massive party at their house for like an entourage of like about 70 people who kept on bringing them up into, introducing to Daniel.
Oh, hang on. This
Daniel
is
Dubois.
interesting. This is interesting because they were questioning Don Charles about a late arrival for
Yes, yeah,
Daniel
yeah, this
Dubois.
is it. This is it. So Dubois got so like just perturbed by what was going on at the house. He had to go for a drive just to get some headspace to get out of his house because his dad was having some big like free party, and then he ended up getting there late because of all these shenanigans. He didn't get to the fight, the didn't get to be to Wembley until like 90 minutes before the fight. Which, when you think about the AJ fight, and there's all this story that AJ wasn't ready, just makes it all absolutely hilarious that they've made that mistake.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think he had to drive his dad there, and then had to walk from the car park. Didn't go in the entrance he should have done, and then his dad wanted to get like an entourage of like I don't know however many people in there who weren't on the guest list. And then his dad starts shouting, well, Daniel, Daniel, come here, tell them if these guys don't come in, you're not fighting. So he's got all this shit going on 90 minutes before the fight. So, so yeah, I think that's plenty that they got to be happy about. So I think, I can't believe it. No, yeah, Daniel Dubois' dad has absolutely, done a number on him. Certainly
Stitched
believe
him
it.
up, yeah, yeah. But
Ah,
him and Don Charles trying to outdo each other on who can mess up this fight for Dubois the
yeah,
most.
exactly. So actually, everything we said, I actually feel quite sorry for Dubois because I think best laid plan. You go back to it like the Don Charles thing. So like his farm that he has where they train, where you look out over Wembley, been doing like an hour of visualization a day, looking there. He's done all this training, all this prep. I do think Dubois thought going into it, he was in the best possible, best possible
I I
frame of
felt
mind.
I felt that up until about 3 or 4 days before, and then I just felt like Dubois looked rattled. He looked like he'd realised again, I'm back here again with this guy, and he's very, very good. I feel like that sort of looked like he he didn't look that confident to me. I mean, every single stare off, if he placed any emphasis on them, he lost every single one. He
Yeah.
looked away.
Even if that wasn't the case, if what happened is what's been reported to happen, this party, we're getting there 90 minutes before the fight, even if you were as well prepared as possible, that is not ideal
No, it's not.
night
It's not.
preparation, is it? And that's
It's
got to
not.
land squarely at his dad. And let's see how this falls out. Let's see what happens from it.
It's the opposite of what happened to Ngannou when he fought AJ and he got to the stadium about 7 hours too early. Um, it's just it's so. I
There's a
don't know
sweet
if
spot somewhere in the middle, right?
yeah. Did you watch that one? It was so funny because they kept on
Yeah, we
cutting
knocked
to
him out pretty
they
much
kept
straight
on
away.
cutting to
Carry on.
clips of Ngannou, and he was obviously in the changing room, sort of ready. AJ hadn't even arrived. He was nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, mad.
Got to
Yeah,
get that right. It's all down to when you arrive. It's all on that.
yeah, you've got to get it. You've got to get it out. So, I mean, it's his dad's clearly
Does he
gonna.
fight again? Does he do you think he fights again?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's
I,
nailed on that he fights again.
I think he fights again. I think he'll. He I don't think he'll take a complete gimme fight. Maybe he'll fight Joe Joyce again, something like that. Like, do you know what I mean? Maybe just
I could see that. I could see that
do
happening.
do that. So a fight that could be sold enough that we could all buy back into the
Problem
hype
is,
and get building back up again and go for it again. Because I do think he's 27, right? And if you with his skills that he has, and he's a good fighter, he's a good boxer, he's a good fighter. He At 27, he's still, in relative terms, a baby, etc. In heavyweight terms. So he's still got a whole load of potential. I just don't think. Well, I don't think he should be going anywhere near Usyk again in the next
but where,
4 years.
so yeah, but where does he go? Because he's
But
he's
that's
beaten a lot of the sort of he's beaten the contenders. He's beaten Joshua. He's beaten Miller. Um, I can't see Parker wanting to fight him because Parker was given the chance to fight him when he had a belt. So I can't see why Parker's going to be like, yeah, I'll fight you now. I think he'd be like, fuck you now.
he'll fail. Yeah, I think they applied for a vacated, wouldn't they?
I suppose.
I think that's what. I
But
hope Parker
then,
gets the Usyk fight. Sorry, just to jump there. I want Parker to have that fight. Just for Parker. It's like, just so he
yeah, I mean,
gets.
I know everybody wants that fight, and I know Parker's much improved, but he did get beat by um He got beat by White. He got beat by Joyce, didn't he? Yeah, and he got beat by
It-
AJ. He's not going to beat Usyk.
no, 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 you won't. I know you won't. I don't. None of them will. But it's a payday for him. That's it. So
Yeah,
none of them are going to beat him. Just forget that now. Forget that now. No one's going to beat him until he decides he's done. Um, and how long
and
that will be. I just hope it doesn't go on so long to a point where you know it's always almost resented.
maybe
Because
maybe Dubois is going to fall into a horrible pit now of, oh, these are Moses Atama's days now. Your opportunity
yeah,
came. You had it, but it's gone now. Moses Atama
no one's
is
going to. It's what we said, wasn't it? A few month or so ago, saying like, well, my son's older. He might not even know Daniel Dubois. He'll be able
yeah, yeah.
to say, he'll know Moses Atama if he goes on to what he doesn't know Usyk. They'll be, oh, wasn't that up there, the other bloke? No, well, yeah, who was it? You know, be one that like the lads who are 8, 9, 10 years old now will be the casuals won't know who Daniel Dubois was. He'll be just yeah.
So I think we've wrapped that up pretty well. There's a couple of things I wouldn't mind throwing in that are sort of related, I guess. Um, so, well, the first one is AJ Jake Paul seems to be gathering a hell of a lot of momentum, and even Eddie Hearn's saying that's looking like it's going to happen. I mean, obviously it will because Eddie Hearn
Yeah,
just
Eddie
wants
Hearn's
the
saying it
money.
looks like that's going to make me a hell of a lot of money. Don't want to see it, obviously. Like genuinely, like if AJ gets in the ring with him, if AJ actually goes in
It's
there for a
it's
win,
Ngannou. It's
he could
Ngannou all
kill
over
him.
again. Yeah,
He
it's
could kill him. He could kill him. Like it's not Jake Paul, by all accounts, given his success and his business acumen, must be an intelligent man. But if
well,
he goes,
I mean, you've got to assume that if AJ's doing it, he's going to get the same terms and conditions that everybody gets to fight Jake Paul, which
you're not
is
allowed to punch.
you're not allowed to punch, or you're allowed to punch in the last round or whatever. I don't know what it is. Obviously, Tommy Fury wasn't smart enough to follow it. Maybe he just didn't make Tommy Fury sign it because
Just
he
Tommy
did.
Fury.
Yeah, yeah. No need, no need. It's only Tommy Fury. So that
Um,
one's gathering. It's gathering attention. I don't. I mean, everyone's going to watch it if it happens. Like it's one of those, isn't it? But
yeah,
then the other thing is, I think the most likely fight for Usyk next is Fury. I think that's the most likely
yeah,
fight.
yeah. I think so.
Which is an
It's
absolute joke of a
it,
fight. It's a joke.
it is it is, but Fury's the only one who has a chance, and it's not. I don't think it's a very good
He's
chance.
no, but he's had the chance. That's what's annoying.
Ye- yes, yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah.
had it and then he had it again, and he
He's
didn't
the
do it.
only he's the only one you could really make a case for.
But he didn't manage it.
And
So
I
it's like
and
it's like
I don't.
you don't get a third fight if he lives two. You don't
No,
get
I
it.
agree.
It's
I
over
agree.
as that.
And I'd said beforehand, I didn't want to see him in the ring afterwards. When I saw Jake Paul squaring up to him afterwards, I did want to see it being Tyson Fury because I thought this is Jake Paul's in the ring, and I was like, thinking,
Oh yeah, it was
God,
ridiculous.
no, don't just leave that well alone. But Fury's the only one you can make a case for.
Honestly, I'd rather see more or less anyone in with Usyk than Tyson Fury.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think
Well,
Fury is
and
advantage.
I wouldn't put AJ in. He's done nothing to sort of warrant it. And I wouldn't put Fury in, but anyone else, anyone else at all. That's a boxer. Anyone else, like go with it. Or if you're gonna fight a fucking celebrity, just pick, I don't know, pick some UFC guy or some shit.
You
Like,
know what? I've got two words for you, Dave Allen. That's all I want to see. He still hasn't got his fight signed yet, has he?
well, I think the whole of boxing has been the whole of the heavyweight division has been waiting for this fight to happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately for the whole of heavyweight boxing, nothing's changed.
No, 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 exactly,
So
exactly.
everyone's been waiting for this fight to be over because they were all sniffing around the
Do,
belts,
do you
and
know what?
none of you can have them.
Do you know what though? It has changed because everyone was like, "Oh, Usyk's, he's 37, 38, could become an old man overnight." Do you know what's happened? He's just got even better. So
Yeah,
you thought you were getting closer to those titles being thrown up in the air. No,
he's off the table, isn't he? He's sort of off the table for all those people that were sniffing around thinking there's an outside chance I might get a shot at a belt somewhere here. it's
Yeah,
gone. Yeah, this chance at the belt is over.
this is. This is. It's Usyk's world, and we're all just living in it until he decides, I'm done.
So
But
I'm expecting heavyweight fights to be signed left, right, and center in the next few weeks.
yeah,
And unless everyone's waiting for some kind of vacation or something like that, I don't know. But
yeah. I mean,
um,
it should happen. It should be the Parker fight, and then I'm sure one will get vacated, won't they?
but you're not gonna see the Parker fight this year. Um, I can't. Not as we've got what we got 6 months left, 5 6 months left.
Yeah, no, you
Not.
see it. I think we see it in December
I don't think so because that'll mean Usyk's only at home for what 3 months, something like that.
I think
I,
we'll see. I think we'll see it December.
I suppose that it always is a big card in December.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that.
Well,
Yeah,
I hope we see him out. Yeah. I hope we
I
see
think he
him out.
knocked Parker out comfortably. I don't. I think he'd knock
Definitely
him out
so.
easily.
I think
Like I just don't think he's any real. I don't think he punches hard enough, Parker, to cause him
so.
any problems. Like it's almost tailor made. I know Parker moves quite well, relatively fast hands. I don't think he moves better than Usyk. I don't think he's got faster hands than Usyk, and he doesn't punch harder. He's almost got nothing in his favor.
That's that's pretty tapping, isn't it?
And he's a nice guy, Parker, but he's not as nice as Usyk, so he's not even got that.
Exactly. Do you know what he does have, though? Now that Usyk's got rid of his promoter, he does have the funniest promoter in boxing. His Kiwi mate. What's his Higgins or whatever his name is?
All right, I don't know this guy.
Oh, you will have done. You will have done. He's funniest. He's Kiwi promoter. I can't say Tony Higgins. What's his name? I'll have to find it now. Supposedly, you know him. He's always good in the press conferences.
But why has he got a separate one than Frank Warren? Why has he got two?
Maybe he's his manager. I don't know. He is.
Maybe it's his manager. Did you see Usyk's
Ah,
manager,
David
by the way?
Higgins. David Higgins. It's David Higgins. Yeah.
Did you see Usyk's manager, by the way, when I think it was on the second knockdown, just running. I think he was sat right in the corner on the left side, and he was just running up and down.
Which one is his manager? Is it the Ali G?
No, the guy with the yellow glass. No,
Yes.
the one that looks like a sort of basketball player. It's not him. He's an old looking guy. What's his
The old
called?
looking guy. Look, yeah, but proper.
Eggle. He's called something like Eggle or
He's
something like
straight
that.
out of Rocky Four, isn't he? That guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know the one.
Well, he was going nuts, and I think he was running in front of like the front row because I'm always looking at the front row to see who's there. Well, to be honest, I'm always looking at all the rows to see who's there, and it fops me off every time that Gordon Ramsay's always there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what a fucking knob!
Well, he could because he so apparently he was the only person who called Fury knocking out Wilder in Fury Wilder 2.
Okay,
I called it.
yeah, I can't imagine that is true. Who else was there? So, well, Jose Parker was.
Jason Statham was there.
Jason Statham was there. Simon Jordan was sat because you could see his glasses.
Yeah, you could see
his glasses are huge.
Yeah.
So he was there.
Looks like a Bo Selector character, doesn't it?
He really does. Yeah. Jason Statham. There was someone else there. I can't remember who. And then obviously Turkey there. And doesn't it not wind you up as a boxing fan when you see people sat there at these great events in sunglasses? You're so rich, you don't even need to see it properly.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And then they're on the phone. Or there's some girl there, some like,
yeah, you know, who are you?
Yeah, just like, look, I know you're someone's partner, I'm assuming. Just let them have this night. Yeah, that's someone's seat. That's someone's seat. It's not yours.
Yeah. If you let Chisora have it.
Yeah. So I think that's us done on this one.
I think so, mate. I think so.
In terms of upcoming fights, it's a bit thin on the ground again.
You know what? I've just been so focused on this.
I don't. I mean, we'll be back next week. God knows what we'll be talking about, but we'll get there.
We'll be talking about how good Usyk is again.
Yeah. This is one of 6 before we get to the before we get to Itama White.
Yeah, exactly that.